Hi all. Right, back with more Europa Universalis, the ambitious Margrave's solo scenario. This is my part 13, I think. Yeah, I think so, 13. Okay, I'm still keen to keep moving with this game. Watching back, I had a bit of time at work today where I was able to watch back on a few parts, so I released another 3 parts, I think. 9, 10, 11, I think I've just got 12, or was it 8, 9, 10 I released? Something like that. A few things to talk about just before we finish this. Looks like we're getting close to the end of this round. Whether I'll squeeze it into this video part or not, I've got my doubts. I'll probably stretch another round, although maybe not, because we've just got to carry out an event for Austria, haven't I? I'm just going to double check the end of how part 12 finished, but I think Austria did do one action, and now they've got to carry out their event, and that finishes the round. But there is some steps to end the round as well. I did want to talk about a couple of things. A few of the comments I put in. Well, I've deleted the stuff for part 8, so I've got some stuff for 9 and 10 here. You know what it was? I think it was 9, 10 and 11 I watched today, and there was nothing to comment on from part 11. So, 9, I've got this noted at the 7-minute mark. These are in the header of the video anyway. Just thought I'd mention them though. Because, that was the thing. I'll watch back. Now, I briefly watched it before, but it was before I started playing the game. And that was the video that the designer done quite recently. Well, I say quite recently. It was in maybe 6 months ago or something, maybe. This was one of the comments Martin made, was that it's a good video, but they could do a video on the solo side of things as well. And it is a very good video. But first when I watched it, I thought, it's too much. It was like, it's too quick. And it's too... You need to know what he's talking about. You need to know the game. Now I feel like I know the game a bit better. Watching that video was really, really good. And yeah, it still is a bit quick, but I mean, you've got pause. You can pause, you can rewind, go back a bit, watch it again. I found myself, it's something like, it's maybe a 50-minute video or something like that. But I found it took me about a lot longer to watch because I paused, I went back a bit, I watched the bit again that he was talking about just to sort of clarify it. But there was a lot of bits in that helped with some of the things that I was doing. And 2 or 3 things has made me realise that I must be doing some things kind of slightly wrong. So this point at the 7-minute mark of part 9 was one of the things that he had done in that video. And again, this is just me not really knowing the game. So it was when our army was in here, the Denmark army was in there, right? I better not do that, or I might forget about it. It's when it was in there, and I was saying, how do I know if I've just declared the war, or it was before we put the unrest there. It was before we sieged the actual province, and I was saying, how do I know? And it became clear that because the army was there, it must have had a battle, and and I think we did do that bit right when they had a land battle. Now I'm starting to doubt myself. Anyway, my comment here was, I don't think it matters if there is an army in a hostile area without any hostile units, then it can siege. So I mean, if it was just to go in there, we know that if there was going to be a battle, then we would have that battle that turn. Then next again turn, we would do the siege. But watching his video, he moves an army into an area who he's at war with, so it's a hostile area. He then just sieges the next turn. Now, did he have a combat in there as well? That's making me wonder, wanting to go back and watch that again. And one of the other bits I watched as well, he had a land battle against a non-player realm, which was too strong. It was 2 provinces strong, and he rolled 3 dice for it. And I'm sure I concluded that the amount of dice rolled. Well, see, here's the thing: is this something to do with the solo side of it, maybe? And this is one of the things Martin mentioned to me, that this is probably the major issue with the complexity in this game. When it comes to the solo side of it, is that you've got a separate set of rules for the solo, but the majority of the rules are taken from the main rule book, and it's the differences between the two aren't quite so clear cut. You know, they're not quite so easy to sort of say, yeah, oh well, but in the solo you do that. It's a bit because I'm pretty sure I concluded when we had the combat in Hamburg that they only rolled one dice. And yet I watched him in that video and he rolled 3 dice. He rolled 3 dice for the non-player realm, and he rolled 3 dice for the player that was attacking it. But could that be because it was a player and it wasn't a bot, maybe? Yeah, see, it might have been. It might have been. Land battles. Yeah, see, when a bot fights an NPR, Rebel Force, always roll a number of infantry dice equal to the number of Rebel/NPR units present. And the actual NPR units that are present, that boils down to the tax income, doesn't it? So if you've only got one province, then the NPR units that are going to be present are going to be 1. And that means you only roll 1 dice. Yeah. And I think this, if this is something that's different from the solo and what is from the multiplayer, then that does make it awkward. It does make it hard to sort of... I mean, nobody, again, whether I'm getting enough people watching these videos and being able to make comments, and they're, is it a clear-cut case that everybody's just watching it and thinking, yeah, that was right, we're not going to, there's no need to say anything. I'm not quite sure that is the case. I get more the feeling that maybe if anybody that is watching it maybe has the same knowledge as me of the game, or there's maybe just not enough people paying attention or caring or whatever. So I don't know for sure. It was pretty good watching playing the Unconditional Surrender, because the designer actually watched quite a bit of the video footage. Well, whether he watched it all or not, I mean, it's a long haul, but he was watching the video footage because he was making comments. I love that for this game. I'd love the designer to come along and watch this and, straighten me out, because I'm not sure about a lot of things. But anyway, yeah. Like I say, this army could move into an area, and if it's hostile and at war with it, and there's no other army there, then I think it can just siege the provinces down. That's the impression I got. So, anyway. Yeah, a couple other comments I've got here. Hang on. Yeah, no, I've spoken about that already. That's when the bot should have had some allied units. In fact, he's still got one there, which I think should still be there, again. And the Imperial units shouldn't have been there. I took them away. Martin pointed that one out to me. That was a daft one, because I definitely read that one myself. Yeah, so I've got 3... 1, 2, 3... I've got 4 little things written down here. I've got Imperial Influence, page 11, example. That must be in the main rulebook. So let me get that and have a look at that. Right, yeah, this was regarding Imperial Influence and removing it, and the talk of we've got these 3 Imperial Influence on the board, and I was swirling about, can you remove them if you need to do it for whatever the purposes are for removing influence. And I was like, no, I don't know if you can or not. It doesn't seem right. And Martin had made a comment saying he couldn't find any in the rules that says you couldn't remove them. Well, I found this when I've been reading through the rulebook again today, because, again, yeah, I just don't think you can read it enough to try and absorb that. It's just so dense with stuff to understand. And I came across this it's a big example here, but that's not what we need to be reading. Just in here, it says, this bit here, I think, is it? If any imperial influence had come off the board, e.g. to pay for a call to arms action, during the current round, Austria would have placed these back onto the board during this step as well. But you don't need to know that bit. What I'm pointing out there is that the imperial influence could have came off the board to pay for a call to arms. So it definitely could have done it for that reason. So kind of tells me that it could have came off for other reasons. So I think Martin's probably right with the fact that you can, there's nothing to say that you can't remove that. So anyway, that was one thing I noticed today. The other one was this, just on the following page actually, and it was the event example here. And reading it about how much ducats get put on the card, again I was watching Bridger's stuff, and to me it looks like he's putting one ducat on, whether it's two together or not, when you're watching his playthrough. It might be, he's using tabletop simulator, so I don't know if they're two together, so it might well be. But it does confirm there, it says they place 2 ducats from the general supply on each of the other 2 face-up events. So it definitely is 2 on each. Like, if you draw this event, then you put 2 on that and 2 on that. And you can see even in that picture, I mean, you can maybe see 2 coins stacked on top of each other. So it might be that when Bridger's doing it on his video, it might be that there's 2 together. But anyway, that's confirmation that it definitely is 2 per card. If there was any doubt of that, I think that was maybe me, like, trying to read into it in a different way. Yeah, another one was on the next game page, actually, because obviously this is a bit that I've been reading. And I've got reread Change National Focus on page 13. And it was to do with... Yes, very bottom part. I left a question in my video about can you, when you pick a card, when you discard cards to draw new cards, and you're allowed to draw 1 from the discard pile, can you draw 2 from the discard pile? Well, no, because I think this confirms it. It says you may pay 1 monarch power and 2 ducats to pick 1 of the new cards from the top 5 discards of the deck matching the paid monarch power type. So it does say 1 there, so that bit there tells me you couldn't discard 3 cards and draw them both from the discard pile. Okay, and then the final bit I had there was regarding, I've got video, rolls 3 dice for the non-player realm battle. So, I don't know, if somebody watching can, again, help me out with that one. Did I do that wrong when we rolled the non-player realm for Hamburg, or is this something that the bot against the NPR does differently from what a human player would do against the NPR? Is it a different dice roll there? I've got my doubts that it is there, but yeah, it could be. Right, let's get back to the game now. So I was just double checking where we were at, and right enough, Austria had the last action, so it's its last normal action, and it did annexed Hungary, didn't it? And also ended up putting one of these cores on it, which I'm still not quite sure what that means, to be honest. But I dare say we'll get there. So that was that done. Confirmation about that though. Let me just quickly find page 8. I wanted to say trigger end action phase. For each player who's taken an event at this point in their final turn. No, sorry. When there are no more players eligible to receive ducats for passing, which is the case, each remaining player gets to take 1 more action of their choice, which Austria had done. They did do it of their choice, as in we draw a bot card. It could have ended up being the event, and then that would have been the end of the round, but it wasn't. It was another action they'd done. For each player who's taken an event at this point, this is their final turn. Well, that's not the case. After this, if any players have still not taken an event this round, those players must take 1 final turn to perform their event action. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. And we're going to open we don't need to look at the main turn structure, we just want the event action flowchart. because there is 2 events there still, remember, and neither of them are the Austrians' event. So, what do we do? Event, already taken event action, no. So we're going to roll just a d6 this time for this one. Is that? There we go. Right, so let's roll the d6. 4. How many times have I rolled a 4? Right, okay. Just, I don't know, it seems like I've rolled a 4 an awful lot with that d6. Anyway, a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, opponent's event is revealed. No. Neither event has for a specific realm. I don't know if there's a way of wording that, but no, neither of them are. So that's a no. Own event is revealed. That's a no as well, because I've just said none of them are specific to a realm. At war with opponent whose event is revealed. No. Right, we've already... well, I suppose you could have came to that one and then went to that one. So, no, and that's a no as well. So we're going to go right along to here. Let me just double check that. There. At war with opponent whose event is revealed. They are at war with Denmark, but their event is not revealed, so it goes along to here. So pick leftmost revealed event. Gain 1 bot power if there's ducats on the event. So yes, there is. Okay, so they're going to pick the leftmost event, and they're going to gain 1 bot power. I'm just going to put these ducats back. Now, I dare say we should technically put 2 ducats onto this as well, but I'm not going to do that because there's not any point in that, is there? Because we're going to resolve this card. It's not going to get used in an event. It's just going to do the stuff down the bottom. So let's see what this is. Nobles demand privileges. So let's have a look and see. Well, actually, hang on. I'm going to add the bot power while I remember. Yeah, gain 1 bot power. So, well, mind you, it's not. Is it going to go? Well, I suppose it depends. I don't think it's going to do anything. Right, so I've gave Austria another bot power rather than swing around there. So all players must choose. All players must choose. Oh dear. How does that work? Okay, so I guess we're going to do... The Austrians are going to choose this, then the Denmark bot is going to choose it, and then we're going to have to make a decision on this as well. So hang on, general event rules. Right, is there anything there that helps me? Well, hang on, there is an option A and an option B. Oh, hang on. Well, we're jumping the gun a bit because we picked the event. Right. Let's move on through the flowchart at least. So we've picked that. We've scored the bot power. Is this an opponent's event? No. So resolve option A on the event. This is maybe one. Somebody pointed me. Actually, I think it was Mike, the guy that commented about maybe linking up in Tabletop Simulator. I think it was him that said somebody's done an event sort of. There's a file which better picks these events bot wise. I'm just going to go and have a look at that for now, and I don't think there's anything here that's going to help me decide, because I know it's saying pick option A there, but that's generally if these are, both of these are bad, basically, aren't they? I mean, A is accept their rightful claim, no nobles demand privileges, and you would lose 3 prestige, and that's what the the flowchart's telling us to do here, but I just want to maybe have a look. I did say I would maybe look into that file, but it's nothing official, you know. But then how do we decide between these two? And just go with that and say, well, what's B? B is ignore their demands, add unrest to 2 of your towns. So that's bad as well. And then it says you gain 1 prestige for every player who chooses the same as you. Okay. You being that is Austria. So Austria would gain 1 prestige for every player who chooses the same as you. So I'm not sure how we would decide what Denmark chose there, you know? Right, I'm going to just have a little look into this one. Okay, nothing helped me with this on BGG about what the bot should do in this situation. I did look at that event file, and I've got it open there, so I might glance at it if there's an event that's... However, it just says that for this card, that all bots will pick option A. And like I say, there's nothing more than that. The file is called, hang on. Oops, right, it's titled Bot Event Suggestions, you know. So it's about how to decide. Because fair enough if I followed this and this is selected A, so we'll go with that for Austria, but how do I pick? I think it could be right though. I mean, is it not better than just losing 3 prestige rather than adding unrest to? Because we're just moving into the part that, yeah, you know what? I think even I want to lose 3. I don't think I want to deal with this unrest part. We've got nothing that's unrest, and we've only got 3 towns. Remember. Okay, if anybody's got any thoughts on how better I should deal with that, or maybe I should just use that file that's out there that makes these decisions for you. Like I say, it's nothing that's official though, so... Okay, so we're going to say A, so it's going to resolve A, and then we're going to resolve the secondary effects on the event. In fact, I think, is that not going to... So if we do the unrest bit, I think that's... Is that not a rebel thing or something? And then... Well, hang on, I'll come back to that. So... Well, I suppose we'll do it in player order, so it's going to be Austria, Denmark, and then myself. So Austria are going to take the hit on prestige, so are Denmark, and so are we. Yeah, we're all going to do it. Right, my problem there is now that Denmark was on 0. So Austria go down to 10. Oh god, I'm going down to 0 as well. That is not a D10, is it? No. Right, hang on, I've got one here though. So I'm down to 0. Because I was on 3, and well, wait a minute. Can I sneak that? I can borrow this now. They're going to be -3, aren't they? That's my 1 minus dice that I've got there. That's just looking pretty bad, Grant. As long as I know what I'm doing, I suppose. Denmark are on -3, right? Yeah, that looks like a bit of a mishmash, but I don't know what. I don't want to start putting these counters on. Well, hold on. Can you not use one of the counters? I probably could. That would be more sensible. Now, where are they? There's one, is it? No. Damn it, where did they go? Give me a second. Got one. Let's not do that. Let's do... This isn't going to be great either, though. Let's do a 3. But I'll put this the down bit beside it. I mean, I could put it on top of it. That's getting silly, Grant. It's not going to go on top of it, so... I'm sure we'll know what we're doing there now. Okay. Right, so we all take... Well, actually, who's going to... Oh, it's all going to be Austria. So Austria is actually going to gain 1 for every player who chose the same as Austria. So he's actually going to gain 2 back. So in actual fact, he ends up only losing 1 out of that, doesn't he? Yeah. Yeah, well, let me know your thoughts on that, how to deal with these events. Maybe that's why somebody's created that file, to make these decisions. Just he's got a list of every card, I think, and what the bot should do. I mean, some of them are probably going to be... I don't know. I didn't really read through it. Whether it's just the guy that's made it up, whether it's his opinion on what the bot should do based on just what the cards want to offer. I don't know. So we've done that, right? So now we're going to resolve the secondary effects on the event, right? Well, actually, does it not tell us here? This would be Rebel one, right? So it's Unrest Rebellion as above. As above, as in resolved as normal. Is that what that's meaning there? Yeah, that must be. Well, I don't know. That's a bit. Yeah. I'm just looking. Attrition is resolved as normal. Unrest Rebellion as above, meaning resolved as normal. Right, okay. So Unrest Rebellion. Well, we'll need to find out what that does again. Right, so I think this is where we come, but I thought there was something different about this to the bots. I'm just looking, but it didn't look like there was until the last little bit that I looked at. I don't know, I think we're going to roll Rebel dice here. But you see this bit here? This is the solo rules again. So Rebel dice rolls. Bots roll Rebel dice for all of their unrest at once, not area by area, and they roll a maximum of 5 Rebel dice. So that's clearly a difference to... Now, I'm assuming that's what we're going to do here. It said Unrest Rebellion. I think this is what we're doing. I'm a little... okay, it was the other reference. I had page 37 and page 41. This is page 41, so this is going to make it a bit clearer for me. So it says, all players must roll a rebel die for each of the provinces with unrest. Following the procedure described on page 37, you roll a maximum of 1 rebel die. All players must roll a rebel die for each of their provinces with unrest. Following the procedure described on page 37, you roll a maximum of 1 rebel die. Well, I roll 1 rebel die for them all, or... And what was it said? What is it the bot done differently there? Bots roll rebel dice for all of their unrest at once, not area by area, and they roll a maximum of 5. Ugh. Why does that say you roll a maximum of 1? Right, let's go back to page 37 then. Right, okay, rebel dice. During phase 3, step 1, a player must roll rebel dice for each of their towns / vassals with unrest. Now that's during that phase, but this is obviously through an event. Well, there you go. Certain events will also require rebel dice to be rolled. Right, okay. So when doing so, players with unrest must roll and resolve the rebel dice in clockwork order, starting with the active player. The active player is going to be Austria then, right? When caused by an event with the active player, when caused by an event or the first player... Starting with active player when caused by an event or the first player when rolling in the Peace and Rebels phase. Right, okay. So it's the active player. It's going to be Austria, then Denmark, then myself. Each player rolls rebel dice area by area for all in a given area, not province by province. Okay. And it said I was to roll a maximum of 1 on that bit before. So why am I thinking that we should be rolling more rebel dice? So, what does more say here? If you have a rebellion, if you have any military units in the area, you rolled for a rebel is placed in the area for each. No, that's a result of the die. Right, I'm kind of confused here. Roll rebel dice area by area. Each player rolls rebel dice area by area for all in a given area, not province by province. Well, there's not going to be an awful lot of that, so let's look at the map. In actual fact, there's only one province with unrest, and that's Denmark's one there, I believe. None of our three are, and the Austrians are fine. So it's just that one, but I'm confused by what I'm meant to be rolling here. The problem is we're going to go into the step shortly because this happens. I mean, that's just telling you the results. I did just say you were to roll one though. So let's just say I had well, see, it's different for the ball though, isn't it? But then what? It's saying a maximum of 5. Oh dear. I don't know what I'm doing here, and yet I've seen this in the videos, but I don't know what I'm doing. Bots roll rebel dice for all of their unrest at once, not area by area, and they roll a maximum of 5 rebel dice. So you must have to roll 1 for each unrest. And they roll... yeah. I get the feeling we're rolling 1 rebel dice for that unrest there. There's nothing else here, so... I don't see anything in this bit that tells me how many dice to roll, so maybe it's just as straightforward as... Oh, hang on. Yeah, it does tell you there, Grant. It does tell you, and you've just read that. During phase 3, step 1, I think maybe I was glossing over this because we're not in this, but this is the same. Players must roll rebel dice for each of their with unrest. So it'll be 1 rebel dice for each. Why did it say over there that it was maximum of 1? All players must roll a rebel die. That's better worded. So 1 rebel die for each of the provinces with unrest, following the procedure described on page 37. You roll a maximum of 1 rebel die. Come on, is that making sense? Am I being silly here? Okay, I've got it, and I remember this now. This you means you, the person that's doing the event. So the person that's doing the event only rolls 1 rebel die. And the other thing I'm not quite grasping here, which I've got now, is that it's not, you're not rolling specifically for that town with unrest. Let's just say this was unrest, this was unrest, this was unrest. They would roll 3 dice, and it's not, I'm not targeting like one of the dice is on that, one of the dice is on that, you're just rolling 3 dice, and then they've got different outcomes. The results to these are give you different outcomes. So the more unrest you've got, the worse it is. So yeah, the person rolling the dice, the person doing the event with this unrest rebellion only rolls 1. However, Austria is not going to roll any. We're not going to roll any. And the only person that's going to roll is Denmark. And the bot rules were that they roll for all theirs at once, not area by area. So I think if it was not a bot, we would have to roll... Yeah. So let's just... Well, we can't really... Let's just say Austria wasn't a bot, and they had unrest here and here, and then they had an unrest over there. They would roll two dice for these two, and then they'd roll another dice for that, I think. Whereas the bot just rolls for all their areas and rolls a maximum of 5. So if it happens to have more than 5, it's only going to roll 5. Right, so we are going to roll... Denmark are going to have to take 1 rebel dice roll. Right. That was hard work, wasn't it? That's not greatly worded though, is it? I mean, you roll a maximum 1 rebel die after that. I mean, somebody asked that exact question. That's why it was nice and easy for me to find the answer, because it was answered in that way. But again, maybe just me, another person asked the question. Right, okay, so we're going to roll 1 rebel die for the unrest in this, in Hamburg, isn't it? Let's see what we get. Right, that's a 2. That's a loss of ducats, I want to say. So what does the bot do there then? Right, hang on. Well, that is the result. Lose 2 ducats. Yeah, it's got it here. It tells you the results. So it loses a bot power. Right, okay, so I'm just going to remove 1 bot power from Denmark. Still got a couple left, but I mean, they passed anyway, so that's really not doing anything, is it, really, to them? But anyway, okay. Right, so that is that event done. Well, let's just double check though. No, yeah. Well, it's not going to carry on though. Resolve secondary effects event has 10 bot power left and less than 8 large. Well, it's got less than 8 large times, but it's not got 10 bot power. It's only got 5. So that's a no. So that is going to end their turn. So now we've ended the last event. I'd like to just go with this. Right, that gets discarded as well. So I'm going to put that down the bottom. Did I do that before? Yeah, face up, yeah. So that's bound down the bottom of the event deck. And now I think we now go and resolve this last event. But hang on. Yeah, there it's there. Unpicked event. After all players have taken an event, the bottom row of symbols on any unpicked event will be resolved, but the event text itself will not take effect. See page 40. Yeah, here we are. Event guidelines, general event guidelines. Okay, so yeah, unpicked events. Well, do you need to go through this? You've just read it out there, Grant. In most scenarios, after each player has taken an event, there will be 1 unpicked event on display. The remaining event will not take effect. But if it has a historical ruler on it, the player associated with the event may pay 2 administrative power to point the ruler on the card. Yeah, I remember that one. That's not going to apply, but anyway. Any symbols at the bottom of the card will be auto-resolved immediately after the last player has completed their event action, according to the auto-resolution rules listed under each symbol on the next page. Right, and these are the effects here on the next page. So let's see what we've got. This is the last event. So we ignore the text on the card. I'll just put it there actually. We're just looking at what's down the bottom, and we go left to right on this, by the way. So this one is Lost at Sea. Ooh, well, we've nothing at sea. Yeah, I watched a bit of this. That was in one of the videos I watched today. Actually, you must choose and remove 1 ship belonging to each opponent that is not adjacent to one of their friendly ports. Auto resolution: each player chooses for themselves. So that is not adjacent to one of their friendly ports. Is the bot gonna want to do anything about that? Bot can lose a maximum. Use standard bot choices. Choice processes. See page 3. Applying rebellions. No. Okay, let's see if any of the ships are in it. Do have any issues with that? They probably don't actually, do they? Oops. Zoom out a bit, Grant. This is adjacent to a friendly port. In fact, there's only 3 ships on the map. This is adjacent to a friendly port. Ooh, this won't be then. No, it's not. And adjacency doesn't move too... No, it doesn't. That's just movement, Grant. So this is not adjacent. Oh, I see. Yeah, if you were choosing this, it's you that chooses the one ship. However, the auto resolution is each player chooses for themselves. Well, for the bot, we've not got a choice. It's just this. It's this one. So that's gone. Okay, and then finally, it's got the ill health token. We know what this is. I'm sure it probably describes it there as well, but actually I don't think it does. Oh, it does, yeah. Character mortality. There. All characters with a symbol next to their portrait that matches the symbol on the event played will receive an ill health token. If a character receives a second ill health token, they die and their card is discarded. But we've got all this covered because it is a triangle, and it might get glary along here. We had no triangles. Well, you've got to kind of see them in there too. I've got a square. No, that's a circle, Grant. Square, circle, square, and a square. So none of my guys have taken any hits at all throughout the events here, which was pretty good. Okay, so that's that event gone as well. And I'm at 42 minutes. Okay, so the round is now finished, and we just need to go through that procedure. So Austria comes in. Well, it's shown third. The order's going to be Denmark, myself, and it's going to be like that, yeah. Right, so what happens now then? Right, no, sorry, it's not the end of the round. What it is, it's the end of the action phase. So now we move on to phase 3, Peace and Rebels. Just keeping the bot bit open here. Their sequence of play, Peace and Rebels. Bots resolve each step is described below. So remove Casus Belli and truces. Bots remove truces as normal. Bots never have any CB tokens. Then we've got NPR invasions, which is B. Well, I'll keep these at the side. So remove Casus Belli and truces. Well, there's none of that. But hang on, we've got a claim. Is that not what a Casus Belli is? Remove all CB and truce tokens. Yeah, a Casus Belli is a claim. Is that when we're going to remove this claim then? However, it says there a player removing a CB loses 2 if not at war with the realm it is removed from. Well, it's not at war with Hamburg anymore, is it? Okay, so here's the definition of Casus Belli. There's quite a few different ones. Casus Belli, which is a justification for war, enables you to declare war without receiving -2 stability penalty. Following CBs can be obtained. Conquest, that's a claim. Having a claim on an area provides the Casus Belli against all foreigners, owners, and controllers of provinces in that area. So that's what Denmark have. That's the only Casus Belli on the board. None of these are. We thought we had that on, but we didn't. But I mean, if that's going to remove that and get some penalty, I don't feel like we've done that right then. I feel like that claim should have been removed at some point. I can't find the answer to this one, so I'm not sure, but I don't think we should be removing that claim and then them losing 2 prestige for it. Player removing a casus belli loses 2 prestige. If not at war with the realm it is removed from. I mean, it would be on Hamburg. I mean, are we still at war there? But I mean, we've taken the town. I mean, it says it's occupied, but is that not... I don't know what that occupied marker actually means either. Is that occupied by us, or... I think I'm going to take this away. I don't feel like that should be there anymore. And I think it should have been taken away before. I don't recall a step, but there might have been a step that said to remove it. To be honest, when your army actually gets removed, I don't feel like there's a bit that tells you about that either. So it might just be that it's one of the things that you know what, it might have been there. Right, I'm going to take that off for now, and we'll see. I'm not going to give them 2 prestige hits anyway. Bots remove treaties as normal. Bots never have any CB tokens. I don't mean that they've got to have a claim. That's a CB token, isn't it? Well, see, that could be what it's meaning there. That's a CB token, maybe. It's on the other side of the claim, but... I don't know. Help! I don't know. Okay, I'm taking that away and we're going to move on. I mean, I don't think it needs that claim there anymore. I think that's done its thing. It allowed Denmark to attack Hamburg, so maybe then it should have been taken off. The only reason that war token is there still, to be honest, I don't think that needs to be there either. Because they're not at war with Hamburg anymore. However, there is war, and I think somebody's video that I was watching, they actually placed, and this isn't a bad idea actually, I don't think it says this in the rules or anything. It might have been Bridger's way of doing it, was to put a war token on, that's the capital of Denmark, and that's obviously an Austrian war token. So you can see that they're at war with each other. I don't think this war token should be here anymore. You know, it was declared war upon, now we're done. So maybe that war token and that claim token should have been taken away when this happened. Okay, we'll go with that and we'll move on, right? So NPR invasions is the next step. If a non-player realm which is not an active ally is at war with any player realms and none of the areas where that NPR currently controls provinces contain hostile units hostile to the NPR, the player realms may now face an invasion from that NPR. If an NPR which is not an active ally is at war with any... Yeah, see, I don't think that is the case. The only NPR that was involved was Hamburg. I don't think it's at war anymore. It's been taken over. That's that. So, no. Bots may suffer a maximum of 1 NPR invasion. Yeah, so I'm going to say that's not happening either. Rebel siege or move. Perform the step. If there are any rebel units on the board, well, they're not. So, what about the unrest part though? Is that just in there, or is that just rebels? Perform the step if there are any rebel units on the board. Resolve areas in order of most rebels to fewest. For areas with both rebels and unrest, no. Do we not roll for the unrest though? Oh no, hang on. Rebel siege or move, that is. Resolved as normal, it says for the bot. No, this part doesn't happen. There's no rebels on the map, so this part doesn't happen. Right, peace resolution. Right, this scares me, this part. performing turn as normal. Human players can resolve peace with bot enemies as described in the main rules. When it is a bot's turn to resolve peace, it uses the flowchart on page 15. If bot is now at peace, remove the bot's army from the map unless the bot has any towns with unrest or rebels on them in the area where their army is located. That's not the case then. If the bot is fully annexed by a player realm, see the replacing bot realms. Yeah, that's not going to apply. Okay, so they've got their own way of doing it. So this step occurs if there are any ongoing wars. So there's a war between Austria and Denmark, right? There are then resolved according to the sequence described in section 10.1, see page 29, and summarised here. Let's just see if we can summarise that. And in turn order. So in turn order. So, well, that was us first. Well, we're not resolving this because we're not at war. So it's going to be Austria and then Denmark. But they're going to use the chart. They're going to use the flow chart, aren't they? When it is a bot's turn to resolve peace, it uses the flow chart on page 15. Which is... Right, this. Yeah. Let's look. Right, just check that bit at the top. Follow normal sequence for peace resolution, main rules, page 29. And use this chart each time it is a bot's turn to resolve one of its wars. Right. Right, I've actually got to take a break. So what I thought was maybe we come back to this in the next part. Does that make... Because, yeah, it doesn't look like I'm going to get all this finished within the hour. And we're at 52 minutes, so there's probably a little bit more to look at here. Okay, this might not be that as complicated as I think, but I do need to take a break just now anyway, so it seems more sensible me just cutting the video here. So I'll come back to finish this in the next part, which probably will be tonight still. So I'll be back soon. Okay, cheers.